What's going on, party people? Aaron Negler here with Cheesehead TV. Come to you live on the YouTube channel on a Friday afternoon. The Packers have released their final injury report. Pretty much everyone's off of it except Devontae Adams and Big Bob Tonyan, both listed as questionable. You got to feel pretty good about the health of this football team in week 9 of the NFL season. Pretty much everyone's going to be available to them. It'll be interesting to see who's up and who's down. Most notably, of course, Devontae Adams, but for the most part, the Packers hitting on all cylinders and healthy just over the midpoint of the season. Got to feel good about it. Hello to everybody in the comments section here. T.S. Waller, thank you very much. Very kind of you. I emailed you and you never emailed back. Well, keep emailing. I got a billion emails. Which email? What was it about? I'll get to it eventually. Does this season remind you of the 2007 season? Not really. I get where you're coming from in the regards to they kind of surprisingly went 13-3, right? I mean, no one was expecting that year. McCarthy really changed things up in week 2 or 3 of that season. Funny enough, Chargers game was really where they went pass happy and then kind of found their passing offense. Hey, we got a flashing light here in the studio. I love when things are all over the map. What are the weaknesses of the team in your eyes? If you're talking about the Packers, tackling. It's the number one weakness you're looking at coming out of Sunday's game. Man, that was atrocious. Hopefully it was just an aberration. Is Corey doing that on purpose? Is he flickering the light on me? Go Pack Go from Switzerland. What's up, Patrick? How are you? Thanks so much for the super chat. I can't understand only being favored by 3.5. Hey, you're on the road. I know it's supposed to be a home environment, but it's a long trip. And look, the Chargers have a new offensive play caller. They fired Ken Wisenhunt for cause because, look, they haven't cracked 40 yards rushing in 4 straight games. That's a record in the Super Bowl era. With a new play caller, there's still a lot of talent on that team. I'm going to turn this around because that light is bothering me. Holy cow. Yeah, and they've got a ton of talent. I think Anthony Lynn's a good coach. They've been hard to watch over this past month or so. There's no doubt about that. But I would not sleep on this team at all. It's impressive that the Packers are favored at all. Let's see. Sternberger or Campbell, they have been practicing. The window to activate them comes to a close early next week. So I would suspect one of them at least gets called up on Saturday. You can't underestimate Rivers. Cody, I could not agree more. Do you think our defense will get back to dominance they displayed in the first few weeks, or do they just keep us upright while the offense carries the load? Mike, I think they'll improve. I think they'll look better this week. They got to stop the explosive plays. That's the number one thing that's killing this team. They perform well in the red zone. They perform well in spurts. They've just got to be more consistent. I will be at the game, Negler. Jedi Rob, fantastic. May the force be with you. Flashing light is the new lampshade. Yeah, you got that right. The thing is weird, man. It literally just started up as soon as I started. It's like a ghost in the machine. Is Martinez still wearing a club? Most likely, Mark. At midpoint of the season, who do you think is the edge of the coach of the year, LaFleur or Shanahan? I think, I got to be honest, I think Sean Payton's going to win it for the work he did going undefeated without his starting quarterback, the work he did with Teddy Bridgewater. It's going to be hard to beat him or Reich in Indianapolis. I think one of those two will probably get that award. How do I feel about White Claws? I don't feel anything about White Claws. I experienced White Claws 100 years ago when it was called Zima. You kids have a good time. Do we try to get Vitale some more carries going forward, Matthew? I doubt that, but I think they should get him more receptions, specifically one in the end zone. Come on, LaFleur, get it done. Whoa, something that would be a good surprise this Sunday for the Packers. No injuries and +3 in the turnover column. How's that? I don't know. Is that a surprise? Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, or Dez Bryant without any off-field issues? Oh, it's Antonio Brown. Can you make NFL picks? Sure. I just made a pick. Packers are going to win on Sunday. I just put up my preview and prediction post at cheeseheadtv.com. Check it out. Maybe I'll start doing that. Should I start doing NFL picks on Friday. I'll do a separate video just with my picks for the week, and you guys can tear it apart. I had forgotten about Des Bryant. How could you when he's attacking me for no reason? Yes, do that. Yeah, that'd be fun. Sure. Yes. Okay. I'll start doing that. That sounds like fun. Should be a good time. What else you guys got? I like the picks idea. Me too. Can playing Burks more help with tackling? I can't hurt. It can't hurt. You know what I'm sick of? You know what I'm so sick of? And this isn't really just the Packers. This is kind of NFL wide, but it certainly reared its head on Sunday night. The throw myself at the ball carrier's feet, hoping I disrupt his rhythm as a biped humanoid who uses 2 feet to transport themselves across space. Like that is the most annoying thing on the face of the planet when it comes to the game of football. Like I get, like, yes, arrive, get there quickly, and make a tackle. At least try to use your arms to wrap up. I get that you're not going to be able to every time, but at least attempt it. This just throw yourself at the feet of the ball carrier thing is the most annoying thing on defense. Every game is a trap game. Well said, Jupiter. Do I think the Packers will get a first-round bye? A lot of ball game left. Way too early to think about that. Should I call my bookie? No. Hello from Alaska. What's up, Silas? Thanks for checking in. Nagler, how's it going today? You know what? I'm moving a little slow. Went a little hard last night, but you know what? I'm here for you guys. I play hurt. That's what I do. And I play in a disco, apparently. Longwell or Jackie? Jackie. It's got to be Jackie. After Longwell disrespected Green Bay, and I know he's made amends, but come on. It's got to be Jackie. Plus, Jackie will always have a soft spot in my heart for that huge kick he made at the end of that 49ers game on Monday night. That was an amazing, amazing kick. Do I think the Philly game was like the Redskins game in 16? I hadn't thought of it that way, but sure. Why not? I don't know. You mean the game before they go on the run the table? Yeah, I guess kind of in the sense that they kind of found themselves offensively, right, in a loss, but you could see the pieces were there. They were starting to put it together, etc. Rodgers talked about that in 16, how that Redskins game was like they could see it. And that's why he said, I think we're going to run the table because he thought they were ready to explode. King missed a ton of tackles. Think his injury is affecting him? Maybe. Still got to use your technique. He was worse about, he wasn't so much Mr. throw himself at the feet. He was Mr. throw the shoulder at it and hope it knocks the guy down. Can't stand it. Do you think you could play for LaFleur? Seems like a player's coach, but has a good balance. Yeah, I mean, I love the buttons he's pushing. I love his demeanor. Doesn't seem to get too crazy, but he lets guys get loose and be themselves. Seems to have a handle on discipline, though. You know, and a handle on the message as far as what he wants to impart to his team. Yeah, I could play for the guy. Anything new upcoming for Cheesehead TV? Yeah, Reese, we just decided we're going to do an NFL picks video every Friday. Or I guess maybe every Wednesday, so we get the Thursday night game in there. Who would be my upset pick of the week? I have no idea. I haven't looked at the schedule. Well, maybe I should do that right now. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I'm going to look at the schedule. This is good. We're going to do it live. All right. Come on. NFL schedule. There we go. So what last night we had the Niners come up rusty, but then prevail over the Bears Eagles. So I can see the Bears pulling that one out. I know, but nobody wants to hear that though. Let's see. Texans Jaguars. Nah, that's a. Ooh, Vikings Chiefs. Is Mahomes going to play? See, I haven't even read about any of these other teams. If Mahomes played, the Chiefs win that game. Colts Steelers. That's the Colts. Oh, Jets Dolphins. Dolphins to win. There's my upset. Dolphins will beat the Jets. 49ers D looked beatable last night. I agree. What's up, Mexico? Where can I buy Packers tickets? Joseph, that's an excellent question. You know what? You should check out a link to ticketking.com at Cheesehead TV. We have links to Ticket King on pretty much every page on our website, and they have everything when it comes to Packer tickets taken care of. Home games, away games, playoff games if they're lucky enough to get there. They're physically located across from Lambeau Field. They've been there since 1992, but you can find them at Cheesehead TV, Ticket King, for all your Packer ticket needs. No Mahomes. Mahomes is questionable. Then it's a push. Probably take the Vikings, unfortunately. News on Balaga, he's going to play. That's all that really matters. I will say, as something I wrote in my preview piece, he struggled on Sunday night against some less than stellar competition, and now he's going up against one of the best pass rushers in the game in Bosa. He better bring his A game. And it helps that he's not going to have to deal with the noise as much because it should be mostly Packer fans in attendance. But yeah, he's two things. They got to run at Bosa, and they got to get the ball out of Aaron's hands quickly when they do pass it. Hopefully, staying out of 3rd and long mitigates this somewhat because Bosa's a handful, and Brian's going to have to bring his A game while injured, which is no treat. Who has disrespected their fans the most? Spanos, Mark Davis, or Snyder? I mean, I'm always going to go with Snyder because he's the worst, but probably with the move and now having to play in this MLS stadium, probably Spanos. How was my Halloween? It was great, Robin. Thank you for asking. I took my youngest trick-or-treating, and then I went to my local, tied one on. It was good. Is Savage back, and will he be effective? Well, he was back last week and was somewhat effective. I think he'll be better this week. I definitely think you saw some of the rust. Do Packers have different tech than every other NFL team? Why does only their headset break? That's a great question. LaFleur seemed particularly frustrated by it today when asked about it. But Rodgers indicated it's gone out in 3 different games. So, yeah, maybe there's something they need to look at there. But they said they test the helmet every day and sometimes literally between drives to make sure it's working, and it's working. And then all of a sudden he gets in the game and it's not working. I don't know. Who's out when Sternberger or Campbell are activated? I don't know, Javier. We'll have to wait and see. I would think it'll be an interesting choice as far as some of the bottom of the roster guys. Has Lazard gone over Gmo in the depth chart? Malcolm, not officially, but we don't really get an official depth chart. We get a PR one. But yeah, pretty much. I mean, the snaps tell you all you need to know in that regard. It'll be interesting to see if Adams is back on Sunday, as it's looking he will be, how much that split happens between Lazard and Geronimo, because I tend to think it'll be Lazard for the majority of the time. Chargers are charging $250 for parking and over $300 for a ticket. I want to go from a Packers owner, have a cold one for me. Clash, feel you, man. Any plans to put extra cheese on podcast apps? Would be great to listen while driving. Well, we have it as a podcast on the website. You just need to download the file. That's what I got for you. Maybe next year we'll have it on like iTunes and stuff. But if you go to the Extra Cheese blog post itself on the website or on the mobile app, you can download the file and then put it in whatever you want. Is Grant still on the team? Yeah, he's still on the team. He's just been inactive every week because they haven't needed him. Will Vitale get a touchdown? God, I hope so, Richard. I will lose my mind if and when that happens. Rodgers turning the headset off when he doesn't like the play call. Oh, Jason Willie kind of hinted at that with a question to LaFleur today. He was somewhat joking, but who knows? They should hire LiveX to help them call in plays. I love it, Mark. I'm all in on that. I really wanted to see EQ develop this year. Malcolm, I hear you. It really sucks that he had that injury in preseason. Pretty significant one. Gutekunst obviously thinking long-term there, protecting the player from himself and shutting him down for the year. Can't hate on that, but I agree with you. I was really looking forward to seeing him play this year. I love these. Debating with other Packers fans. I say Jones is a top 5 back. They say no. What say ye? I say, who gives a shit about rankings? That is the dumbest conversation in the world. He's awesome for the Green Bay Packers. You cheer for the Green Bay Packers. It's great. Who cares where he is with the rest of the league and the rest of the backs? I don't care. I know you guys care about that stuff. I don't. All you got to point. If you want the trump card, though, the game is about what? Scoring more points than the other guy, right? He has scored more touchdowns than any other, not only running back, but anybody else in the NFL with 11. So, boom, there you go. There's your trump card. Just lay that down and walk away. Let's see. Live X would try to put an LCD in helmet and feed from multiple cameras. Yeah, probably analog. And then we'd have this light going on and off, and who knows what would happen. Do you expect a heavy rushing approach on offense Sunday? I feel like KC we passed a little too much. I didn't. I think the game plan was absolutely perfect in Kansas City. Actually, I liked how they attacked through the air, especially horizontally, not so much vertically. But I agree, and I actually wrote that in my preview piece for the Chargers game. I do expect a heavy dose of both Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. Run at Bosa, run at those pass rushers, get into manageable down and distances so you can get the ball out of Aaron's hands quickly to mitigate that pass rush. But I do think it all starts with that running game. And they haven't really been as committed to it numbers wise these last few weeks. And that's fine. I think the teams they've played have dictated that, especially the Raiders, who are just having an awful pass defense. But I do think, Casey Hayward's out there. They've got a bunch of talent over there on that side of the ball in Los Angeles. I do think you'll see a bit more on the run side of the ledger this week. Do you think missing Mike Daniels has contributed to the lack of run defense? Not really, Anton. I think they've got the bodies that they need. They just need to play better with better leverage and better technique more than anything else. We've seen them do it, right? They just need to do it more consistently. Aaron Jones' legs reminds me of either the Roadrunner or Taz. I like that. Can you see any Packers trying a Lambeau leap this game for the fans? Gary, 100%. Wouldn't surprise me at all, especially if there's a gaggle of them up front, right? I'd love to see it. Put prime Aaron Rodgers on the 2007 Packers. Do they win the Super Bowl? Well, sure. Any prime quarterback who doesn't throw to the one fucking covered guy in the NFC Championship game when every single other fucker is open, yeah, they probably get to the Super Bowl and win it. Don't get me all hot and bothered here, man. I'm having a good Friday. Thought on Baker lashing out at the media? Well, let's be clear here and let's be fair. He didn't lash out at the media. He lashed out at Tony Grossi, who's had a vendetta against him pretty much since he was drafted. Grossi, was very adamant that they weren't going to draft Baker, and then they did draft Baker, and he's been antagonistic towards Baker the entire time he's been in Cleveland, and it kind of boiled over in that moment from that presser a couple days ago. Now, all of that said, you can't walk away. You got to be a pro. I mean, come on. I love Baker. Anybody who's followed me, he is QB1. He was QB1 in that draft before he was drafted first overall. I love that kid. I love his talent. He's got all the talent in the world, all the potential, but be a pro. I get Tony Grossi is annoying. I understand that. But come on, man. You can't just walk away from the podium. It's like you come off like a spoiled brat. And you come off like you're going to town with the media. Like, it's a unfortunate situation between him and one other reporter. It's not him and the media. But hey, that's a very singular event and a very specific event in my eyes. Do the Packers have the D-line depth for a late season run? Luke, I actually think they do between Lancaster and Kiki. I think they got to get Kiki more snaps now so that he's, more prepared down the stretch. But I do think they have what they need up front. You throw in Adams, you got enough to go the distance, so to speak. Daz, not yet. Throwing around a couple ideas. Gary needs to step up this game. I agree. He needs to get on the field more to do so, though. I mean, he keeps playing significantly fewer snaps than Kyler Fackrell. It's hard for him to make much of an impact on the sideline. Got to get him on the field. Where do you think Lazard stands when Adams comes back? QB2. No, wide receiver 2. I think he'll be kind of right there with Gmo as far as number of snaps, probably getting more than anybody else other than Adams. Will Ryan Grant be the odd man out? It's a good possibility. You still expecting Tony Brown to have a breakout year, or have you changed your mind? Well, he got hurt, but you like to see his development. He got picked on a little bit in that Bears game. Then he hurt his hamstring. The guys got in front of him. It's hard to have a breakout year on the sideline in the cold tub, and then you come back and you're relegated to special teams. I still think he's got all the potential in the world. But it's hard to take over the league when you're on the injury report. I think we can beat the 49ers from what I saw yesterday. Oscar, sure, but that's a short week. They're on the road. That doesn't mean a whole lot. It's a division game too. Yeah, I don't take much stock in that. And besides, who cares, man? They're playing the Chargers this week. That's what's important. Came in late. Is Jay Sternberger playing this week? No word yet, Chris. I don't doubt we'll get some kind of indication tomorrow. The Packers will probably announce some kind of roster move if they intend to bring him in. Is it time for 52 Gary to bring it? It's Ben time. He's got to get on the field. They have to play him. We got a lot of questions about Gary. It's hard for Gary to do much as far as impacting the game if he's on the sideline. Kyler Fackrell is playing significantly more snaps. Now, maybe that's because they don't trust him or whatever, but, it's hard for him to make a case if he's not playing. I know we need the depth, but I would have liked the Packers trading Geronimo for an inside linebacker. Just to do it? They traded for an inside linebacker this summer, BJ Goodson. He's been playing. This is your team. This is your team. Root for your team. Or don't, man. I'm going to root for this team. Seems like Bakhtiari has had an unusual amount of penalties this year. Thoughts? He has. He's got caught a couple times, been in a bad position a couple times. He's still playing at a high level. I mean, my only thoughts are he's got to clean that up. Other than that, he's still a baller, and that's all that matters. Who's your favorite player on the Pack? You mean this team? Danny Vitale. I want to see Josh Jackson and Oren Burks grow more and get on the field more. Well, they got to do that latter to get to the former. The Oren Burks thing is weird because he had played 2 weeks ago, and then last week he didn't play at all. Josh Jackson, they were using him in that kind of hybrid safety role. He gave up a number of completions and/or got beat a couple times, and now we've seen Chandon Sullivan kind of rise in front of him, and Chandon's actually played pretty well. So unless he slips up, I think Josh Jackson's going to have a hard time getting on the field. Big boy football and the real season is upon us. Matt, that is a really good way to put it. The weather turns, it starts to get hit in weather. That first part of the season's over, and it's time to lace them up, get hit other people, breath out of the mouth, blood running down, snot nose. Let's go. I love it. All right, everybody, I'm going to jump. Thank you so much for all the questions. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to yours, but Corey and I will be back on Sunday with a watch party right here at LiveX. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, please, 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 please subscribe. Corey's going to fire me if we don't get more subscriptions here on YouTube. But hey, if you like what we do, hit subscribe, hit like, and consider giving us $5 a month on our Patreon. Patreon.com/cheeseheadtv supports everything we do. Hey, maybe we can get the light fixed with some of that money. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. Go Pack, go.